This video is to show you how elementary school double-digit multiplication is linked all the way through the high school FOIL method that's used in multiplying binomials. So we're going to start with traditional multiplication. We're going to do 2 times 3, which is 6, and then 2 times 4, which is 8, knowing that that 4 is really representing 40. Then on the next line we're going to do 1 times 3 and put a 3 down, even though that 3 is really the 1 is representing 10. And then 1 times 4, which is 4, but it's really 10 times 40. And so you actually end up with 43, but we forget that there's that invisible 0 that's taking up this space. So as you can see from elementary school, we have things aligned in their place value, and then we add them together to get 516. In this scene you can see that I've added what we multiplied. 2 times 3 plus 2 times 40 gave us that 86. The reason I included this is because it helps you see what's happening in this second example where we are breaking it down. 2 times 3 is still 6, and 2 times 40 is 80, and that's where the 86 comes from. And we just forget that that's what's happening, but this is the process you need to see in order to understand the FOIL method. Then we have 10 times 3 is 30, and we have 10 times 40, which is 400. Sorry about the clicking in the background, that's the mouse. It's kind of hard to do this without the board. I'm doing this all on the computer. So we have 400 here. We have 111 in the middle. So it's basically like 111 $10 bills. Or I'm sorry, 111 $10 bills. And then we have 6 singles. And all of that together gives us the 516. Oops, kind of sloppy. Finally, we end up with the algebraic method where instead of having 10, I'm multiplying with an x. So this would be basically 4 times 10, but we're pretending that we don't know that it's a 10, so we're going to use the same method and see how it works. So the 2 times 3 is still 6. If I have two groups of 4 x's, I have 8 x's, and we could break that down later if we need to. And then we have I'm going to go a little bit backwards here. I'm going to do 1x times 3, but think 3 groups of 1x would give me 3x. And then in this case, it gets a little tricky if you don't know this rule, but 1 times 4 is 4. X times x is x squared. So what we're going to have over here is 4x squared. And if you think about 10 times 10 is 100, and 10 times 10 is also 10 squared. So if you think about that, that should help you understand 4x squared. The last thing is then we're adding like terms, similar to what we did in this one. Let's highlight that, where we have like terms 80 plus 30 is 11. We're going to have that same thing show up here because they are the same place value. So we have 4x squared. There's nothing else we can do to that. And then 8x's and 3x's is 11x's. And then 6 individuals. The one thing you have to understand in this case is that we cannot in any way combine these. So unlike over here where we actually had an answer, we can't come up with a final answer like elementary school because our place values don't match. This is where most students make mistakes. They think that because what they did in elementary school worked, they should be able to add it. But in this case, you can't add 4 to 11 to 6 because you did not add 4 to 11 to 6 in elementary school. So finish here and understand that that is the end result. Now bear with me as I try to write this with the mouse. what I'm going to do here is just show you how you take this same problem and you write it sideways, 4x plus 3, and then we're going to multiply that times 1x plus 2. And we could do this with this negative signs also. The only difference here is we're going to start using what some people look at as rainbow math, and what we're going to do is make sure that we follow these steps. FOIL is an acronym for first, outside, inside, last. I have that somewhere else on my page. Whoops. Hang on. I decided to add this breakdown of what FOIL is. So we're going to do the first two terms. That would be these two. Let's use color here. We're going to use the first two terms of each, and that gives us the 4x squared. Then we're going to use the outside and inside, and I'm going to use the same color for those two. So we're doing the outside two terms. Whoops, I'm doing the inside. Hang on. Messing up again. The outside two terms would be the 4x and the 5, which gives us, and you're not going to see this above in the other problems, but that gives us the 20x. Oops, I used 5. Where did... Okay, I have to stop and fix all this. Embarrassing, I had put a 5 there instead of a 2 for 12. So it would be 4x times 2, which is 8x. And then the inside two terms are the 3 and the 1x, so we get 3x. Funny writing because of the mouse. And then we're going to go to the last two terms, which happen to be the 3 and the 2. And 3 times 2 is 6. And this way, what we're looking at is what we're considering like terms, and that would be these middle two terms are alike, just like they were, again, up here highlighted. They were alike because they were both the same place value. The x was to the first power. So finally, we combine our like terms. This one doesn't have anything that's like it, so we have 4x squared. The 8x and the 3x end up combining to make 11x. And then finally, we have the plus 6 at the end. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how FOIL method came around, going backwards through algebra, and then broken down version in elementary school, and then back to the original form that almost everybody learned in 4th grade when they learned to multiply. Good luck, and look for another video where you will be factoring this trinomial.